the story of Antigone.
That dark-haired girl, sitting by herself, staring straight ahead, seeing nothing, is Antigone.
She is thinking.
She is thinking that the instant that I finish telling you who is who and what is what in this play, she will burst forth and step right down, and she will dark, tense, serious girl who's about to rise up and face the world alone.
Alone, against the world, and against Creon, her uncle.
The king.
Another thing that she is thinking is this.
She is going to die.
Antigone is young.
She would much rather live than die, but there is no help for it.
When you are on the side of the gods against the tyrant,
Of man against the state.
when in short, your name is Antigone, there is only one part you can play.
And she will have to play hers through to the end.
Mind you, Antigone doesn't know these things about herself. I know them because it is my business to know them. That's what a Greek chorus is for.
All that she knows is that Creon won't allow her to bury her dead brother, but despite Creon, she must bury him.
Antigone doesn't think, she acts. She doesn't reason, she feels.
And from the moment the curtain went up, she began to feel that inhuman forces were whirling her out of this world.
Snatching her away from her sister is mean.
Whom you see smiling at that young man.
Making her an instrument of the gods in a way that she cannot fathom, but that she will faithfully pursue.
You have never seen inhuman forces at work?
You
Will tonight. The young man talking with his meaning is Haman.
He is the king's son.
Creon's son.
The apple of the tyrant's eye.
He and Antigone are engaged to be married.
You wouldn't have thought she was his type.
He likes dancing, sports, and competition.
He likes women too.
Now, look at his meaning again. She is certainly more beautiful than Antigone.
She's the kind of girl you'd think he'd go for.
Well, there was a ball one night. Ismene wore a new evening dress.
She was radiant.
Haman danced every dance with her. He wouldn't look at any other girl. And yet, that same night, before the dance was over, he suddenly went in search of Antigone.
He found her, sitting alone, like that, with her arms clasped around her knees, and he asked her to marry him.
It didn't seem to surprise Antigone in the least. She looked up at him out of those solemn eyes of hers, then smiled sort of sadly, and she said,
Yes.
Well, here is Haman, expecting to marry Antigone.
He won't, of course. He didn't know when he asked her that the earth wasn't meant to hold a husband and Antigone, and that this princely distinction was certain of no more than the right to die sooner than he might pleasure.
That gray-haired, powerfully built man, sitting lost in thought with his little page by his side, is Creon, the king.
He is tired.
he practices the difficult art of a leader of men.
When he was younger, when Oedipus was king, and Creon was no more than the king's brother-in-law, he was different.
He loved music, bought rare manuscripts, a kind of art patron.
But Oedipus died. Oedipus's sons died.
Creon's moment had come. He took over the kingdom.
I'll tell you something about Creon. He has a tendency to fool himself. That leader of men, that brilliant debater and logician, likes to believe that if it were not for a sense of responsibility, he would step right down from the throne and go back to collecting manuscripts. But the fact is, he loves being king.
Creon has a wife, a queen.
Her name is Eurydice.
There she sits, the lady with the knitting, next to the old nurse who brought up the two girls.
She will go on knitting throughout the play, till her time comes to go to her room and die.
She is a good woman, a worthy, loving soul.
But she is no help to her husband. Creon has to face the music alone.
Alone with his page, who is too young to be of any help.
The others? Well, let's see. That pale young woman leaning against the wall? That is the messenger.
Later on, she will come running in to announce the death of Haman.
She has a premonition of catastrophe.
That's what she's brooding over.
That's why she won't mingle with the others.
As for those three card players, they are guards, members of Creon's police force.
They chew tobacco.
One smell of garlic,
another of beer.
But they're not a bad lot.
They all have wives they are afraid of, and kids who are afraid of them.
They are not afraid to arrest anybody at all, including Creon himself, should the order be given by any new leader.
That's the lot.
Now for the play.
Oedipus, who was the father of the two girls Antigone and Ismene, also had two sons, Eteocles and Polynices.
After Oedipus died, it was agreed that the two sons should share his throne, each to reign over Thebes in alternate years.
But when Eteocles, the elder son, had reigned for a full year, and the time had come for him to step down, he refused to yield up the throne to his brother, Polynices.
There was a civil war. Polynices brought up allies, 7 foreign princes.
Eteocles and Polynices met in combat and killed each other just outside the city walls. And now Creon is king.
A reign of terror has begun.
Creon has issued a solemn edict that Eteocles, on whose side he was on, is to be buried with pomp and honors, and that the younger brother Polynices left to rot.
The vultures and dogs are to bloat themselves on his carcass.
And above all, any person who attempts to give him decent burial will himself be put to death.
It is against this blasphemy that Antigone rebels.
What is for Creon merely the climax of a political purge is for her a hideous offense against God and man.
Since time began, men have recoiled with horror from the desecration of the dead.
Where have you been?
Nowhere. It was lovely. The whole world was great when I went out. And now, you wouldn't even recognize it. It's like a postcard, all pink, green, and yellow. You must get up earlier, nurse, if you want to see the world without color.
It was still pitch black when I got up. I went to your room, for I thought you might have flung off your blankets in the night. You weren't there.
The garden was lovely. I took off my shoes and I slipped into a field.
You'll do well to wash your feet before you go back to bed then, miss.
I'm not going back to bed.
Don't be a fool. You get some sleep. And me, getting up to see if she hasn't flung off her blankets, and I find her bed cold and nobody in it.
Do you think that if I got up every morning like this, then it would be just as thrilling being the first person outdoors every morning?
Morning, my grandmother. It was night. It still is. And now, my girl, you'll stop trying to squirm out of this and tell me what you were up to. You went out to meet someone, didn't you? Deny it if you can.
Yes, I went out to meet someone.
You have a lover?
Yes, I have a lover.
Well, that's very nice now, isn't it? Such goings on. You, the daughter of a king, running out to meet lovers? I promised her poor mother I'd make a lady of her. And look at her. But don't you go thinking this is the end of this. I'm only your nurse, and you can play deaf and dumb with me, but your Uncle Creon will hear of this. That I promise you.
Yes, Creon will hear of this.
And we'll hear what he has to say when he finds out you go wandering alone at night. Not to mention Maiden, for the girl's engaged, going to be married, and she hops out of bed at 4 in the morning to meet somebody else in the field?
Do not scold so. Today's not the day when you should be losing your temper.
Not scold indeed. Didn't I promise your mother? What would she say if she was here? Old stupid, that's what she'd call me. Old stupid, not to know and keep my little girls pure. That's what she'd say, your mother. And I'd stand there, dying of shame, if I wasn't dead already. And all I could do was not dare look her in the face, and that's true, I'd say. That's all true you say, your majesty.
Nanny dear, don't cry, don't cry. You'll be able to look Mom in her face when it's your time to see her, and she will say, "Good morning, Nanny. Thank you for my little Antigone. You did take care of her so well." She knows why I went out this morning.
Not to meet a lover?
No, not to meet a lover.
Well, you have a queer way of teasing me, I must say. Not to know when she's teasing me. I must be getting awfully old, that's what it is. If you loved me, you would tell me the truth.
Nanny dear, don't cry, don't cry. You must save your tears. You may still need them. But when you cry like that, I become a little girl again, and I mustn't be a little girl today.
Antigone, what are you doing up at this hour? I just went to your room.
The two of you now? You've both gone mad to be up before the kitchen fire has been started. I'll be both of my hands with coals before I know it.
Nanny dear, go away now. It isn't chilly, really. Summer is here. Go get me something to eat. It would do me so much good.
The poor baby. Her head must be swimming, what with nothing in her stomach? And I stand here like an idiot when I could be getting her something hot to drink.
Aren't you well?
Yes, of course. Just a little tired, because I got up too early.
I couldn't sleep either.
Ismini, you ought not go without your beauty sleep.
Don't make fun of me.
I'm not. Truly, this particular morning, seeing how beautiful you are, it makes everything easier for me. Oh, wasn't I a nasty little beast when we were younger? I used to fling mud in your face and put worms down your neck.
Antigone, why do you insist on talking about other things?
I'm not talking about other things.
Antigone, I've thought about it a lot.
Did you?
I thought about it all night long. We cannot do it.
Why not?
Creon will have us put to death.
Of course he will. But we are bound to go out and bury our brother. That is the way it is. What do you think you can do to change that?
I don't want to die.
I'd prefer not to die myself.
Listen to me, Antigone. I thought about it all night. I may be younger than you are, but I always think things over. And you don't.
Sometimes it's better not to think too much.
I don't agree with you. Oh, I know it's horrible. I know Polynices was cheated out of his rights, that he made war and Creon took sides against him and he was killed. And I pity Polynices just as much as you do. But all the same, I sort of see what Uncle Creon means. Uncle Creon is the king now. He has to set an example.
Example? Creon orders that our brother rot and be mangled by dogs and birds of prey. It is an offense against every decent human instinct, against the laws of God and man, and you speak of examples.
There you go. Off on your own again. If you seem to pay the slightest heed to anybody, at least you might try to understand.
I understand that a man lay rotting and unburied, and that man is my brother and he must be buried.
But Creon won't let us bury him. Creon is stronger than we are. He is king. He has made himself king.
I'm not listening to you.
You must. You know how Creon works. His mob will come running, howling as they run. 1,000 arms will seize arms. Will be dragged to the scaffold for torture, surrounded by guards with their animal hands, clean washed for the sacrifice. And we'll know that no shrieking and no begging will make them understand that we want to live. They're like trained beasts who go through the motions they've been taught without caring what is right or wrong. And we shall suffer. We shall feel pain rising in us until it becomes so unbearable that we know it will stop. But it won't stop. It will go on rising and rising. Oh, I can't take it. I can't.
How well have you thought it all out?
I thought about it all night, didn't you?
Of course.
I'm an awful coward, Antigone.
So am I. But what does that have to do with this?
Don't you want to go on living?
Go on living? Who was the first person out of bed because they loved the cool morning air on their bare skin? Or the last to sleep because nothing less than infinite weariness could wean them from the lingering night?
Antigone, my darling.
No, for pity's sake, don't. You say you thought it all out. The howling mobs, the torture, the fear of death, they have made their minds up for you. Is that it?
Yes.
All right. That is as good excuses as any.
Antigone, be reasonable. It is very well for men to have ideas and believe in them and die for them. But you are just a girl. You have everything in the world to make you happy. You are to be married. And what about Haman?
I shall see Haman this morning. I'll take care of Haman. Go back to sleep, Ismini. The sun is coming up.
What are you going to do?
Come, my dog, come to your breakfast.
Go back to sleep.
If I do, promise me you won't leave the house.
Very well. I promise.
Come along, breakfast, my dear.
I'm not very hungry, nurse.
My darling, where is your pain?
Nowhere. But you must keep me warm and safe like you used to when I was younger. Oh, Nanny, give me your hand, as if I was sick in bed and you were sitting beside me.
My lamb, what is it that's eating your heart out?
Nothing. It is just, I'm not sure I'm strong enough for what I have to do. But nobody but you must know that.
Not strong enough for what?
Nothing. Oh, it's so good that you are here. And I can hold your calloused hand that is so prompt and strong to ward off evil. You are very powerful, Mamie.
What is it you want me to do for you, my baby?
There isn't anything, except put your hand like this, on my cheek. I'm not afraid anymore.
There.
Nanny,
Yes.
my dog, Puff,
Well,
promise you won't ever scold her again.
dogs that dirty up a house with their filthy paws deserve to be scolded.
And promise that you will talk to her, that you will talk to her often.
Me? Talk to a dog?
But not the way people usually talk to dogs, the way I talk to her.
I don't see why the both of us should make fools of ourselves. So long as you're here, one ought to be enough.
But if there were some reason why I couldn't go on talking to her,
Couldn't go on talking to her? And why couldn't you go on talking to her?
and she moaned and put her nose under the door like she does when I'm out all day, then the best thing might be to have her mercifully put to sleep.
Now what has got into you this morning? Running through the darkness, won't sleep, won't eat, and now it's her dog she wants killed? I never.
Nanny dear, Haman is here. Go away now, and don't forget what you promised. Haman, forgive me for quarreling with you last night. Forgive me for everything. It was my fault.
You know that I've forgiven you. You had hardly slammed the door. Your perfume still hung in the air, and you know that I had forgiven you. You stole that perfume. From whom?
Is Mimi.
And the dress, and the face powder, and the rouge?
Is Mimi.
And in whose honor did you get yourself up so glamorously?
I'll tell you. Oh, what a fool I was to waste a whole evening, a whole beautiful evening.
We'll have other evenings, my sweet.
Perhaps we won't.
And other quarrels, too. A happy love is full of quarrels.
A happy love, yes. Haman, listen to me.
Yes?
And don't laugh at me this morning. Be serious.
I am serious.
Haman, you loved me. You did love me that night. You were sure of it.
What night, my sweet?
And that night, at the dance, when you came over to the corner where I was sitting, it was no mistake. It was me you were looking for. It wasn't some other girl. And that not in your secret heart of hearts have you said to yourself that it was, is Mimi you ought to have asked to marry you?
Antigone, you are idiotic. I love you, my darling.
Oh, I'm sallow, and I'm not pretty. Is Mimi is pink and golden.
Antigone!
Oh, forgive me. I am ashamed of myself. But this morning, this special morning, I must know. Tell me the truth. I beg you, tell me the truth. When you think of me, when it strikes you saying that I am going to belong to you, do you get the sense that there's this great empty space that's being hollowed out inside you, and there's something inside you that's just dying?
Yes, I do.
That is the way I feel. Now, I have two things more to tell you. But once I've told them to you, you must instantly go away without a single question. No matter how strange it may seem to you, no matter how much it may hurt you, swear that you will.
What are these things that you're going to tell me?
Swear first that you will go away without a single word. Swear, please. It's the last mad wish you will ever have to grant me.
I swear.
Thank you. Well, here it is. About last night. You asked me a moment ago why I wore Ismini's dress and rouge. I did because I was stupid. I wasn't sure that she wanted me as a woman. And I did because I wanted you to want me.
Was that the reason? Oh, my...
No, wait! That was the reason. And you laughed at me, and we quarreled, and I flung out of the house.
Antigone!
Haman, you swore you wouldn't ask a single question. I'm going to cause you such a lot of pain. But I shall never be able to marry you, never.
Antigone!
Haman, you swore! The whole thing will be clear to you tomorrow. Even before tomorrow, this afternoon. Haman, if you still love me, you would do this for me. It is over for Haman and Antigone.
I can't sleep. I'm so afraid that even though it is daylight, you'll still try to bury Polynices. Antigone, you know I love you. You know I want you to be happy. And you remember Polynices. He was our brother, of course. But he's dead now, and he never loved us. He was a bad brother. He's like an enemy in this house. He never thought of you, so why should you think of him? So what if he does have to lie rotting and unburied in a field? That's Creon's doing, not ours. Don't try to change things. You cannot bury Polynices. I won't let you.
Ismene, you are too late. When you first saw me this morning, I had already buried him.
Reschedule my 1 o'clock cabinet meeting for later in the afternoon.
Yes, sir. We can move it to 5 o'clock.
Fine. Is there anything else?
Yes, sir. A private of the guards is here to see you. He's one of the men stationed to watch over the body. He says it's urgent.
A private of the guards, you say? One of those standing watch over the body? Show him in.
Yes, sir.
Private Jonas, sir. 2nd Battalion.
What are you doing here?
It's like this, Chief. As soon as it happened, he said, got to tell Chief about this before someone else spills it. We want to know right away. So we tossed a coin to see which one of us would come up here and tell you about it. You see, Chief, we thought only one man would come, because after all, you don't want to leave the body without a guard, right? I mean, there's 3 of us on duty, guarding the body.
The body? What's the matter about the body?
Chief, I've been 17 years in the service. My record's clean. We'll carry out orders, sir, as any officer in the battalion. He'll tell you. Leave the Jonas, give an order, he'll carry it out. That's what he'll tell you, Chief. Jonas, that's me. That's my name.
Stop chattering and tell me why you were here. If anything has gone wrong with that body, I'll break all 3 of you.
Nobody can say we didn't keep an eye on that body, sir. We had the 2 o'clock watch. The tough one. You know how it is, Chief. It's nearly the end of the night. Your eyes are like lead. You've got a crick in the back of your neck. The shadows and the fog's beginning to roll in. A fine watch they give us. But we was doing our duty all right. On our feet. All of us. Anyone who says we were sleeping is a lie. Yes, Chief. Well, I turned around, looked at the body. It wasn't nearly 10 feet from it. Listen, Chief. I was the first one to see it. Me. They'll tell you. I was the one who lit up that yell.
What for? What was the matter?
Chief, the body. Someone had been there and buried it.
My God,
There wasn't much to understand. It couldn't have been the 3 of us there. Just covered in a little dirt, that's all. But enough to hide it from the buzzards.
you are sure that it couldn't have been a dog scratching up the earth?
Not a chance, Chief. It's kind of what we hoped it was. But the earth was scattered over the body, just like the priests tell you should do it. Whoever did that job, knew what he was doing, all right.
Who could have dared? Was there any indication as to who might have done it?
Not a thing, Chief. Maybe with a footstep. I can't swear to it. But we started right in the search. And Corporal found a shovel. A kid shovel. No bigger than that. All rusty and everything. Corporal's got the shovel for you. We thought maybe a kid did it.
A kid? I broke the back of Mr. Bell. Like a snake coming together again. Look here, you. Who else knows about this?
Only us 3, Chief. We tossed a coin, and I came right over.
Right. Look here. You will continue on duty. When the release squad comes up, you'll tell them to return to barracks. You will uncover the body, keep a sharp watch, and if another attempt is made to give the body burial, you will make an arrest and bring the prisoner straight to me. And keep your mouths shut about this. You're all guilty of neglect of duty, and you will be punished. But if rumor spreads through Thebes that the body received burial, you will be shot, all 3 of you.
Chief, we didn't tell nobody. I swear we didn't.
Clear out! If the story doesn't get around, you won't be shot. Shot. Come here, my boy. Would you defy me with your little shovel? Of course you would. Shot.
string is wound up tight.
It will uncoil itself.
That is what is so convenient in tragedy. The least little turn of the wrist will do the job.
Anything will set it going.
You don't need to lift a finger.
The machine is in perfect order. It has been oiled since the beginning of time, and it runs without friction.
Death.
Treason.
And sorrow are on the march. They move in the wake of a storm, of tears, of stillness.
Tragedy is clean. It is flawless.
It has nothing to do with melodrama, with wicked villains, persecuted maidens, avengers, gleams of hope, and 11th hour repentances.
Death in melodrama is really horrible because it is never inevitable.
The dear old father might so easily have been saved. The innocent young man might so easily have brought in the police 5 minutes earlier.
In a tragedy, nothing is in doubt, and everyone's destiny is made known. That makes for tranquility.
Tragedy is restful, and the reason for that is hope has no part in it. There isn't any hope. You're trapped.
In melodrama, you argue and struggle in the hope of escape.
That's vulgar. It's practical.
But in tragedy, where there is no temptation to try to escape, argument is gratuitous. It's kingly.
The play is on.
Antigone is caught. For the first time in her life, Antigone is going to be able to be herself.
Let go of me!
Come on now, miss. Give it a rest. People leave here in a minute. You know all about it. I only know orders. I don't want to know what you was doing there. People always have excuses, but I can't afford to listen to them, see?
They're hurting me. Tell them to take their dirty hands off of me.
Dirty hands? What about the stiffs and dirt and such like? You wasn't afraid to touch them, was you? Dirty hands. Take a look at your own hands.
Tell them to let me go. I shan't run away. My father is King Oedipus. I am Antigone.
King Oedipus' little girl. King Oedipus' little girl? Really? Guess you lost your little shovel, didn't you? Had to go out back at it with your fingernails a second time, I guess. By God, I never saw such a girl. I turned my back for 5 seconds, and there she is, clawing up the dirt like a plane. And boy, did she scratch and kick when I grabbed her. Straight for my eyes with them nails she went, yelling something fierce about, I ain't finished yet, let me finish. And I'm like that. Oi, you keep hold of her, and I'll see she keeps her face shut.
Don't worry, she won't get away this time.
Listen, we're going to get a bonus out of this. And what you say we throw a party, the 3 of us.
At the old woman's place, behind Market Street?
Suits me. Sunday would be a good day. We're off duty Sunday. What do you say we bring the wives?
Nix, let's have some fun this time. Bring your wives and we always put the damper on.
Listen to us. Who would have thought an hour ago the 3 of us would be talking about throwing a party? The way I felt when the old man was interrogating me, we'd be lucky if we got off being docked a month's pay.
Do you reckon we're gonna get a bonus?
Yeah, something tells me this is big stuff.
What's his name, you know? In the 3rd battalion. He got an extra month's pay for catching a firebug.
I should like to sit down, if you please.
Fine, let us sit. But keep hold of her. Attention!
What is this? Take off those handcuffs. What is this?
What, sir? We all came this time.
Who's guarding the body?
We sent for relief.
But I gave orders that the relief squad was to return to barracks and stay there. I told you to keep your mouth shut about this.
Nobody said anything, but acting on your orders, we made this arrest and brought the party in.
Where did these men find you?
Right by the body.
What were you doing near your brother's body? You knew what my orders were.
What was she doing? Chief, that's why we brought her in. She's sticking up in the dirt with a nail. She's trying to bury the body all over again.
Do you realize what you're saying?
Chief, right after we reported to you, first thing we did, we went back, we uncovered the body. Of course, you wouldn't expect much trouble in broad daylight, but we decided, just the same, one of us better keep his eye peeled all the time. About noon, but with the sun and the smell, and I wasn't feeling none too good, I went over to my pal to get the tube. I just had time to say thanks and stick it on my mouth. When there she is, clawing at the dirt with both hands. When I grabbed her, she scratched, bit, kicked. She hadn't finished yet. The body was all covered yet, and the like of that.
Is this true?
Yes, it is true.
We scraped the dirt off as fast as we could and was sent to relief, and we posted him. But we didn't tell him a thing, Chief. That's the truth, so help me God.
And was it you who covered the body the first time, in the night?
Yes, it was. With a toy shovel we used to take to the seashore when we were children. It was Polynices' own shovel. He had cut his name in the handle of it. That was why I left it with him. But these men took it away. So the next time, I had to do it with my hands.
Show these men to the anteroom.
Yes, sir.
You three wait outside. I may want to report from you later.
Shall I put the cuffs back on her, Chief?
No. Had you told anybody what you meant to do?
No.
Did you meet anybody on your way, coming or going?
No, nobody.
You're quite sure of that?
Quite sure.
Very well. Listen now. You will go straight to your room. Once there, you'll go to bed. You'll say that you have been feeling unwell and have not been out since yesterday. Your nurse will tell the same story. And I'll dispose of those three men.
Uncle Creon, there is no reason to kill those 3 guards. You must know that I'll do it all over again tonight.
Why did you try to bury your brother?
I owed it to him.
I had forbidden it.
Those who are not buried wander eternally and find no rest. I owed it to him to unlock the house of the dead, in which my father and my mother are waiting to welcome him. Polynices has earned his rest.
Polynices was a rebel and a traitor, and you know it.
He was my brother!
You heard my edict. It was proclaimed throughout Thebes. You read my edict. It was posted up on the city walls.
Yes.
You know the punishment I decreed for any person who attempted to give him burial.
Yes. I know the punishment.
Did you by chance act on the assumption that a daughter of Oedipus's stubborn pride was above the law?
I did not act on that assumption.
Because if you had acted on that assumption, you would have been deeply wrong. No one has a more sacred obligation to obey the law than those who make the law. And you, Antigone, are a daughter of lawmakers, a daughter of kings. You must observe the law.
Had I been a scullery maid, washing my dishes when that law was read aloud to me,
I should have scrubbed the greasy water from my arms and gone in my apron to bury my brother.
What nonsense. If you had been a scullery maid, there would have been no doubt in your mind about the seriousness of that edict. You would have known that it meant death. You would have been satisfied to wait for your brother in your kitchen. But you thought that because you come of the royal line, because you're my niece and we're going to marry my son, that I shouldn't dare have you killed.
You're mistaken. I never doubted for an instant that you would have me killed.
Pride of Oedipus. Oedipus and his headstrong pride all over again. I can see your father in you, and I believe you. Of course you thought that I should have you killed. Proud as you are, it seemed to you a natural climax to your existence. Your father was like that. For him, as for you, human happiness was meaningless. You come with people for whom the human investment is a kind of straitjacket. You spend your whole lives struggling to get free. Nothing less than a cozy tea party with death and destiny will quench your thirst. The happiest hour of your father's life came when he listened greedily to the story of how, unknown to him, he had killed his own father and dishonored the bed of his own mother. Drop by drop, word by word, you drank in the dark story that the gods had destined him. How avidly men and women drink of such a tale when their names are Oedipus and Antigone. And it is so simple, afterwards, to do what your father did, to put out his eyes and take you, his daughter, begging on the highways. Well, let me tell you this, Antigone. Those days are over for Thebes. Thebes has a right to a ruler without a caste. My name, thank God, is only Creon, and I stand here with both feet firm on the ground. And I decided that, so long as I'm king, I shall merely devote myself to introducing a little order into this absurd kingdom, if that is possible, being less ambitious than your father was. Kings, my girl, have other things to do than surrender themselves to their private feelings, hand you over to be killed. I have other plans for you. You're going to marry him. You're going to give him a sturdy boy. Let me assure you that Thebes needs that boy a good deal more than it needs your death. Now go straight to your room and do as you have been told. And not a word about this to anybody. Don't fret about the guards. I'll make sure they keep their mouths shut. And don't annihilate me with those eyes of yours. I know that you think I'm a brute. But the fact is, I've always been fond of you, stubborn though you always were. Remember that the first doll you ever had came from me. Where are you going?
You know very well where I'm going.
What kind of games are you playing?
I am not playing games.
Antigone, don't you realize that if apart from those 3 guards, a single soul finds out what you have tried to do, it will be impossible for me to avoid putting you to death? I may be able to save you yet, but only if you keep this to yourself and give up your crazy purpose.
I must go out and bury my brother. Those men have uncovered him.
What good will it do? You know that there are other men standing guard over the body? And even if you did cover the body over with earth again, the earth would again bury you.
Yes, I know all that. But that much I can do. And what a person can do, a person should do. You are not free to do with men as you wish. Not even when they are dead.
And you are going to stop me? Are you?
Yes, I am going to stop you.
You must very much want to die. You look like a trapped animal.
Stop feeling sorry for me. Do as I do. Do your job. But if you are a human being, do it quickly.
I want to save you, Antigone.
You are the king, and you are all-powerful. But that you cannot do. Only this can you do. Have me put to death.
You listen to me. You have cast me for the villain in this little play of yours, and yourself for the heroine. And you know it, you damned little mischief maker. But don't you drive me too far. Where are you driving me, you she-devil?
Let me go, you're hurting my arm!
I will not let you go.
Ow!
I should have done this from the beginning. I was a fool to waste words. I may be your uncle, but we are not a particularly affectionate family, are we? Eh? Are we?
Ow! Now you're squeezing my arm too tightly. It doesn't hurt anymore.
I shall save you yet. God knows I have things enough to do without wasting my time on an insect like you. I'm not going to let politics be the cause of your death. For it is a fact that this whole thing is nothing but politics. Don't think that I am not just offended as you are at the thought of that meat rotting in the sun. In the evening, when the breeze comes in off the sea, you can smell it in the palace. Ain't it nauseous? But I refuse even to shut my window. If it were up to me, I would have had your brother buried long ago as a mere matter of public hygiene. But if the rabble I govern are to understand what's what, that stench has got to fill the town for a month.
You are a loathsome man.
I agree. My trade forces me to be. We could discuss whether or not I ought to follow my trade, but once I take on a job, I intend to do it properly.
Why do you do it at all?
My dear, I woke up one morning and found myself king of Thebes. God knows there are other things in life I love more than power.
Then you should have said no.
Yes, I could have said no. Only, I felt that it would have been cowardly. I should have been like a workman who turns down a job that needs to be done. So I said yes.
Well, why is it then that you don't call your guards? I'll tell you why. You want to hear me out to the end, that's why.
You amuse me.
Oh, no, I don't. I frighten you. That's why you talk about saving me. Everything would be so much easier if you had a docile, tongue-tied little Antigone living in the palace. But you are going to have to put me to death today, and you know it, and it frightens you.
Very well. I'm afraid. I'm afraid that if you insist upon it, I shall have to have you put to death. And I don't want to. Why not have pity on me and live? Is your brother's corpse rotting beneath my windows not payment enough for peace and order in Thebes?
No. You said yes and made yourself king. Now you will never stop paying.
God in heaven, won't you try to understand me? I'm trying hard enough to understand you. One man had to say yes. One man had to agree to captain the ship. She had sprung 100 leaks. She was filled to the waterline with crime, ignorance, and poverty. The wheel was swinging with the wind. Now do you understand?
I am not here to understand these things. I am here because I said no to you.
It is easy to say no.
Not always.
It is easy to say no. To say yes, you have to sweat, roll up your sleeves, and plunge both hands into life up to the elbows. It is easy to say no, even if saying so means death. All you have to do is sit still and wait. Wait to go on living. Wait to be killed. That is the coward's part. My part is not a heroic one, but I shall play it through to the end. I shall have you put to death. But before I do, I want to make one last appeal. I want to make sure that you know what you are doing as well as I know what I am doing. Do you know what you are dying for, Antigone? Do you know the sordid story to which you're about to sign your name in blood for all time to come?
What story?
The story of your brothers. The story of Eteocles and Polynices. You think you know that story, but you don't. Nobody in Thebes knows that story but me. And today, I feel that you have a right to know it too. It is not a pretty story. You shall see. But tell me first, what do you remember about your brothers? They were older than you, so they must have looked down on you. I imagine they tormented you. Pulled your pigtails, birthed your dolls, whispered secrets to each other just to put you into a rage.
They were big and I was little.
And later on, when they came home in their evening clothes, smoking cigarettes and strutting like men, they would take no notice of you, and you thought they would wonder.
They were boys and I was a girl.
You didn't know why, exactly, but you knew that they were making your mother very unhappy. She was in tears over them. Your father would fly into a rage because of them. They came home, slamming doors, laughing noisily in the corridors. Insolent, spineless, unruly, smelling of drink.
Once, it was very early and we had just got up. I saw them coming home and hid behind a door. Polynices was so handsome in his evening clothes. He saw me and he said, "Here, this is for you." And he gave me a big paper flower that he had brought home from his night out.
And of course you still have that flower. Last night before you crept out, you opened a drawer and looked at it for a time to give yourself courage.
Who told you so?
Poor little Antigone. Tell me, do you know what your brother really was?
Whatever he was, I know that you will say vile things about him.
A cheap, idiotic bounder. A little beast with just wit enough to drive a car faster and throw away more money than any of his pals.
But
I was with your father one day, and Polynices, who had lost a lot of money gambling, asked him to settle the debt. When Oedipus refused, he raised his hand against him and called him vile name.
That's a lie!
He struck your father in the face with his fist. It was pitiful. Your father sat at his desk with his head in his hands. He was weeping in anguish. And Polynices stood in a corner of your father's study, sneering and lighting a cigarette.
That's a lie.
When was the last time you saw Polynices alive? When you were 12. That's true, isn't it?
Yes, that's true.
Now you know why. Polynices was allowed to go off and join the Argive army. And as soon as he reached Argos, the attempts upon your father's life began. Your father was too chicken-hearted to have the boy locked up. One by one, men slipped into Thebes from Argos for the purpose of assassinating him. And every killer that we caught always ended by confessing who had put him up to it and who had paid him to try it. And Polynices wasn't the only one. That is really what I'm trying to get at. I want you to know what went on in the back room, in the smelly kitchen of politics. I want you to know what took place in the wings of this drum in which you are burning to play a part. Yesterday, I gave Eteocles a state funeral. Pomp and honors. The whole city turned out to bury him. Today, Eteocles is a hero and a saint in the eyes of all Thebes. Old men glorify the virtues of that great-hearted brother, the devoted son, the loyal prince. I made a speech myself. What else could I have done? People have taken sides in the Civil War. Both sides can be wrong. That would have been too much. I couldn't have made them swallow the truth. And yet, this is the whole point of my story. Eteocles, that virtuous brother, was just as rotten as Polynices. That great-hearted son had done his best to procure the assassination of his own father. That loyal prince had also offered to sell out Thebes to the highest bidder. Funny, isn't it? Polynices lies rotting in the sun, while Antigone is given a hero's funeral and will be housed in a marble vault. But I had to make a martyr of one of them. I sent out to the Holocaust for their bodies. They were found clasped in one another's arms, for the first time in their lives, I imagine. Each had been spitted on the other's sword, and the Argive cavalry had trampled them down. They were mashed to a pulp, Antigone. I had the prettier of the two carcasses brought in, and left the other to rot. I don't know which is which, and I assure you, I don't care.
Why did you tell me all this?
Hold a treasure in your hands, Antigone. Life, I mean, you're about to throw it away. Would it have been better to let you die a victim to that obscene story? Antigone, go find him. Get married quickly. Be happy. Life is, perhaps, nothing more than the happiness you get from it.
Happiness.
Not much of a word, is it?
What kind of happiness did you foresee for me? Paint me the picture of your happy Antigone. What are the unimportant little sins that I shall have to commit before I'm allowed to sink my teeth into life and tear happiness from it?
You don't know what you are talking about.
I do know what I'm talking about. It is you who can't hear me. I am too far away from you now, talking to you from a kingdom you can't get into, with your preaching, your politics, and your persuasive logic. I laugh at your smugness, Creon, thinking you could prove me wrong by telling me vile stories about my brothers, or alter my purpose with your platitudes about happiness.
It is your happiness too, Antigone.
I spit on your idea of happiness. I spit on your idea of life. That life that must go on, come what may. You are all like dogs that lick everything they smell. You, with your promise of a humdrum happiness, provided a person doesn't ask too much of life. If life must be a thing of fear and lying and compromise, if life cannot be free and incorruptible, then Creon, I choose death!
Scream on, daughter of Oedipus, in your father's own voice.
Yes, in my father's own voice. We come of a tribe that asks questions, and we ask them to the bitter end. You have just told me all the filthy reasons why you can't bury Polynices. Now tell me why I can't bury him.
Because it is my order.
The order of a coward king who desecrates the dead.
Be quiet! If you could see how ugly you are shrieking those words.
Yes, I am ugly. Father was ugly too. But father became beautiful. And do you know when? At the very end, when all his questions had been answered. When he could no longer doubt that he had killed his own father, that he had gone to bed with his own mother, when he was absolutely certain he had to die if the plague was to be lifted from his people. Then he was at peace. Then he could smile almost. Then he became beautiful. Where's you? Look at yourself, Creon. That glint of fear and suspicion in the corner of your eye. That crease in the corner of your power-loving mouth. Oh, you said the word a moment ago. The smelly kitchen politics. Well, you look at it and you smell it.
I order you to shut up. Do you hear me?
You order me? Cook! Do you really believe that you can give me orders?
Antigone, the anteroom is full of people. Do you want them to hear you?
Open the doors! Let us make sure that they can hear me!
By God, you shut up, I tell you!
Antigone!
You too? What do you want?
Oh, forgive me, Antigone. I've come back. I'll go with you now.
Where will you go with me?
Creon, if you killed her, you'll have to kill me too. I was with her. I helped her bury Polynices.
Oh no, Isme! You had your chance to come with me in the Black Night, creeping on your hands and knees, and you refused it.
Not anymore. If you die, I don't want to go on living. I'll do it alone tonight.
You hear that, Creon? The thing is catching. Who knows but that others will catch the disease from me? What are you waiting for? Call your guards. Oh, come on, Creon. Show a little courage. It only hurts for a minute. Come on now, cook.
Guard,
At last.
take her away.
I love you.
I love you too.
Antigone! No! Antigone! No, Creon!
Don't come in with the baby.
Antigone!
Shut up.
You are out of your mind, Creon. What have you done?
She had to die.
We must not let Antigone die. We shall carry the scar of her death for centuries.
No man on earth was strong enough to dissuade her. Polynices was a mere pretext.
That is not the truth, Creon, and you know it.
What would you have me do? Condemn her to live?
Father!
Haman, forget Antigone. Forget her, my dearest boy.
How can you talk like that?
Haman, I did everything I could to save her. I used every argument. I swear I did. The girl does not love you. She could have gone on living for you, but she chose not to. She wanted it this way. She wanted to die.
Father, they're dragging Antigone away. You've got to stop them.
I cannot. It is too late. Antigone has spoken. I cannot save her now.
You must.
I cannot.
Recall your edict. Bury Polynices.
Too late. The law must be obeyed. I can do nothing.
But Father, you are master in Thebes.
I master under the law, not above the law.
But you made that law, and what you ordained, you can repeal. You cannot let Antigone be taken from you.
I can do nothing else. She must die, and you must live.
Live? For what? A life without Antigone? A life in which I am to go on admiring you as you busy yourself about your kingdom? Go on admiring you as you make your persuasive speeches and strike your attitudes? Not without Antigone. I love Antigone. She never struck a pose and waited for me to admire. Mirrors meant nothing to her. She never looked at herself. She looked at me, expected me to be somebody. And I was, when I was with her. Do you think I'm not going after her? I will not live without Antigone.
Haman, you will have to resign yourself to life without Antigone. Sooner or later, there comes a day of sorrow in each man's life, when he must cease to be a child and take up the burden of being a man. That day has come for you.
That giant strength, that courage, that massive God who used to pick me up in his arms and shelter me from shadows and monsters. Was that you, Father? Was it of you I stood in awe? Was that man you?
Yes, Haman, that was me.
You are not that man today. Already the people curse you because you do not bury Polynices. If you kill Antigone, they will hate you.
Silence! That edict stands!
Creon, the gods have a way of punishing injustice.
The gods.
Creon, that boy is wounded to death.
We are all wounded to death.
Chief, the people, the crowd and the palace.
Creon, I don't want to hear them howling anymore. You are going to kill me. Let that be enough. I want to be alone until it's over.
Empty the palace. Guards at the gates.
It is you, isn't it?
What do you mean?
The last human face that I shall see. Was it you who arrested me this morning?
Yeah, that was me.
You hurt me. There was no reason for you to hurt me. Did I act as if I were trying to escape?
Come on now, miss. It was my business to arrest you, and I did it.
How old are you?
39?
Have you any children?
Yeah, 2.
Do you love your children?
What's that got to do with you?
How long have you been in the guards?
Since the war. I was in the army, sergeant. But then I joined the guards. When they make you a guard, you lose your stripes.
I see.
Yeah, of course, if you're the guards, everyone knows you're something special. They know you're all non-com. Oh, take pay for instance. When you're a guard, you get your pay, and on top of that, you get 6 months extra pay to make sure you don't miss out on not being a sergeant no more. Yeah, if you're all non-com in the guards, you got something even a sergeant major don't got. For instance...
Listen,
Yes, miss?
I am going to die soon.
Ah. For instance, people have a lot of respect for guards, they do. Guards are soldiers, but also in a type of civil service.
Do you think it hurts to die?
How would I know? Of course, if you got stabbed in the gut with a saber and spun around, it hurt.
How are they going to put me to death?
Well, I'll tell you. I heard the proclamation all right. Not much gets away from me. They said that they would... Wait a minute. How do they go again? In order that our first city not be polluted by her sinful blood, she shall be immured. That means they shove you up in a cave and wall it up.
Alive?
Yes.
Oh, tomb. Oh, bridal bed. Alone.
Yep. It's at the southeast gate of town. The cave of Hades. In broad daylight.
A pair of animals.
What do you mean, a pair of animals?
When the winds blow cold, all they need to do is press close against one another. I am all alone.
Say, miss, is there anything you want? I can send for it, you know.
You are very kind. Yes, there is something that I want. I want you to give someone a letter for me when I am dead.
How's that again? A letter?
Yes, I want to write a letter, and I want you to give it to someone for me.
Whoa now, take it easy. It's as much as my job is worth to go handing out letters from prisoners.
I'll give you this ring if you will do it.
No can do. Suppose they go through my pockets. I could get 6 months for a thing like that. Here, tell you what I'll do. You tell me what you want to say, and I'll write down in my notebook. Then, I'll tear out the page and give it to the party. See? It's in my handwriting. It's all right.
In your handwriting? Oh, the poor darling, in your handwriting.
Okay. No skin off my nose.
No, keep it. But be quick about it, time is getting short. Where's your notebook? Ready? Right. My darling.
The boyfriend, eh?
My darling. I had to die. Perhaps you will not love me anymore.
Love me anymore?
Perhaps you think it would have been simple to accept life.
To accept life?
But it was not for myself. And now, it is also dreadful here alone. I'm afraid in those shadows.
Hey, slow down! How fast do you think I can write?
Where are you?
To accept life, dreadful here alone, I am afraid.
No. Scratch all that out. Nobody must know that. Just write, forgive me.
I scratched out everything you said there at the end and just put down, forgive me?
Yes. Forgive me, my darling. You would have all been so happy if it hadn't been for Antigone. I love you.
For Antigone, I love you. Is that all?
Yes.
You
That's
know,
all.
that's a funny kind of letter.
I know.
Now who's it to?
But I hadn't finished
Shut
yet.
up!
It is over for Antigone. And now it is Creon's turn.
The queen! The queen! Where's the queen?
What is it with the queen? What do you have to tell the queen?
News to break her heart. Antigone had been thrust into the cave. They hadn't finished heaving the last box of stone into place when Creon and the rest heard a sudden moaning from the tomb. A hush fell over us all, for it was not the voice of Antigone. It was Haman's voice that came forth from the tomb. into it slipped the smallest guard. Antigone had hanged herself by the cord of her robe. Haman was on his knees, holding her in his arms and moaning, his face buried in her robe. More stones were removed, and Creon went into the tomb. He tried to raise Haman to his feet. I could hear him begging Haman to rise to his feet. But Haman was deaf to his father's voice, until suddenly he stood up of his own accord, his eyes dark and burning. Anguish was in his face. He stared at his father. Then suddenly, he struck him hard in the face, and he pulled out a knife and lunged at his father. Creon leapt out of range. Haman went on staring, his eyes full of content, a glance that Creon couldn't escape. The king stood trembling at the far corner of the tomb, and Haman went on staring. Then, without a word, Haman stabbed himself. Beside Antigone, embracing her in a great pool of blood.
Had them laid out side by side. They are together at last, and at peace. Two lovers on the morrow of their bride. Their work is done.
But not yours, Creon. You have still one thing to learn. Eurydice, the queen, your wife.
A good woman.
When the queen was told of her son's death, she put down her knitting, she went up to her room, and there, Creon, she cut her throat.
She too. They are all the same.
And now you are alone, Creon.
Yes. All alone. What time is it?
5 o'clock, sir.
What have we on today? 5 o'clock?
Cabinet meeting, sir.
Cabinet meeting. Then we had better get along to it.
Those who believed one thing, those who believed the contrary thing, and even those who believed nothing at all, yet were all caught in a web of lies, without knowing why.
All dead, useless, rotting. Creon was the most rational, most persuasive of tyrants. But like all tyrants, he refused to distinguish between the things that are Caesar's and the things that are God's.
Now and again, in the first 3,000 years since the first Antigone, other Antigones have risen. like a clarion call to remind men of this distinction.
Their cause is always the same. They have a passionate belief that moral law exists and a passionate regard for the sanctity of human life.
Well, Antigone is calm tonight. She has played her part.
A great wave of unrest now settles upon Thebes, upon the empty palace, and upon Creon, who can now begin to long for his own death.
Only the guards are left, but none of this matters to them. It is no skin off their noses. They go on playing cards.